6, 5.
Thank you.
I'd like to call the meeting of the Finance and Personnel Committee to order.
Jody, I think we're audit and compliance.
Audit and compliance.
The chairman changed it.
Chairman,
Oh, okay, cool.
The chairman said
Yeah,
it was finance.
Fantastic.
What's on the front page? Come on, guys, what's on the binder?
Audit.
Oh, and compliance, that's what, I'm deferring to audit and compliance. I knew our chairman, he's hard of hearing anyway.
That's,
Pete, I'll be glad to give it to you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to the meeting of the MTSU Audit and Compliance Committee. I'm Pete DeLay, chair of the committee, and I appreciate trustees, MTSU staff, and those attending virtually joining us today. I believe we also have all of our trustees here today. Dr. McPhee, do we have any opening remarks?
no, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McPhee. The first item of business is roll call, which will be conducted by Jeff Farrar, Associate University Counsel and Acting Board Secretary. Jeff, please call the roll.
Trustee Boyd,
Present.
Committee Chair DeLay,
Present.
Trustee Kerbawiak,
Present.
Trustee Martin,
Present.
Trustee Smith,
Present.
Trustee Wright.
Here.
Have a quorum.
Thank you. The first agenda item is the approval of the minutes from the committee meeting held March 16th, 2021. The minutes from the meeting were included in your meeting materials for your review. Is there a motion to approve the meetings for the March 16, 2021 meeting?
So moved.
Trustee,
Yes.
Trustee Delay?
Yes.
Just in the meeting minutes, my name is Darrell, not Daryel, just a slight change. if
Thank you,
that's okay.
sir. So noted.
A slight change to the minutes.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion for approval.
Who made the motion?
Trustee Boyd and Trustee Wright seconded. Is there any discussion? With no discussion, all in favor of approving minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes, and the minutes for March 16th Audit and Compliance Committee are approved. The next agenda item is the approval of policy revisions for Policy 25, Equal Opportunity, Affirmative Action, and Non-Discrimination. Christy Sigler, Interim Assistant to the President for Institutional Equity and Compliance, will present the proposed revisions. Christy, the podium is yours.
Good morning. The proposed revisions to Policy 25 were drafted to accommodate implementation of Policy 29, which came into effect last year, and the related procedures. There is also a move of the IEC reference due to one of those changes. There are also updates regarding job titles and terminology. And based on our conversation at the March meeting, you will see in Section 6B1 that there is no addition of demonstrated effectiveness related to faculty in the compensation paragraph. I'm happy to discuss or answer questions, but those are the changes relevant to Policy 25.
On page 15, the second paragraph on the page, it talks about contractors' workforce. Is the contractor the university, or is the contractor an entity that we've hired to contract to work for us?
Sir, we are a contractor for the federal government because we receive federal funds. So generally, any reference to being a contractor would be to us. In that particular paragraph, are you looking at the red line version or the clean version, sir?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the red line version.
Okay, page 15. Yes, that does refer to us.
Could you please repeat what you said about 6B compensation?
Yes. So when we were here in March, there was a question about whether demonstrated effectiveness should be added to the first sentence of Section 6B1, which is the part that refers to faculty. And so the policy was not revised at that meeting. It was taken under discussion through faculty affairs, and it was determined that because there is a reference to other appropriate factors, it's not necessary for demonstrated effectiveness to also be added to that sentence. So it applies to administrative and professional staff, but it's kind of subsumed in other appropriate factors for faculty.
2 sentences, I understand. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions?
I have one more question. Historically, when we have done general practices of hiring and diversity issues, under the heading of minorities has been the category of men who are in a traditionally female discipline. So, for example, men faculty who are in the nursing department, most nurses are female, they were considered under that heading minority upon occasion. I'm assuming since all minorities have been changed to individuals of color, is that something that's under work? Are we just dropping that consideration, or how does that go?
No, the way that we break things out is by minority status, which refers to race. And for each department within the university, we break out the data related to race and gender. And so we look at the availability for faculty members within each field.
So it's still wrapped up in there
So
somewhere.
it is still in there.
Thank you.
It kind of gets a little complicated looking at all the data, but we do have all of that available if you need anything.
No, I just want to make sure we hadn't lost that feature. Thank you.
Certainly.
Additional questions? Thank you, Christy. Is there a motion to approve the proposed revisions to Policy 25?
So moved.
So moved by Vice Chairman Freeman. Is there a second?
Second.
Wait just a minute.
hang on.
I don't believe Darrell's a member of this committee.
Oh, I thought you said everybody was on every committee, Chairman.
No.
That is correct. That's good. Very good point.
But
Okay, that's
you didn't
fine.
sign up for a few, and other people didn't
Very good
sign up
point.
for
That's cool.
a few.
Thank you.
So is there a motion to approve the proposed revisions?
I'm making the motion.
And I
I'll
second.
second.
Thank you, Trustee Martin and Trustee Wright. Any additional discussion? With no discussion, all in favor of approving minutes, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
The motion passes, and the proposed revisions to Policy 25, Equal Opportunity, Affirmative Action, and Non-Discrimination are approved. The next 2 agenda items are action items concerning audit charters. Brenda Burkhart, Chief Audit Executive, will present the information.
Thank you, Chairman DeLay. The MTSU Audit and Compliance Committee Charter in Section 4, G1, requires a review of the audit charter every 4 years. The current charter was approved in 2017. Tennessee Code Annotated, Title 4, Chapter 35, requires audit committees to have a charter, and the charter must be approved by the Comptroller of the Treasury. The current charter is in the meeting materials for your review. The current charter was reviewed for compliance with state law and for compliance with the Comptroller of the Treasury's guidelines for audit committee charters. There have been no changes to the law or the Comptroller's guidelines since the original charter was approved in 2017. There are no proposed revisions to the current charter other than updating the signatures to include the signature of the current audit committee chair. That concludes my report unless there are any questions.
Is there a motion to approve the Audit Committee Charter as presented and only update the signatures?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Trustee Carboak. Thank you, Trustee Boyd. Is there any discussion? With no discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes, and the presented Audit Committee Charter is approved. Brenda, please continue with the next agenda item concerning the audit charter for the Office of Audit and Consulting Services.
Thank you. Tennessee Code Annotated 43304 requires the internal audit staffs of state entities to follow the international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing published by the Institute of Internal Auditors. The standards require an internal audit charter for the internal audit function, which formally defines the purpose, authority, and responsibility of the internal audit activity. The Chief Audit Executive must periodically review the internal audit charter and present it to senior management and the board for approval. The current charter has been reviewed for compliance with the language recommended in the standards, state law, and MTSU Policy 70, internal audit. There are no proposed revisions to the charter other than updating the signature to include the current chair of the Audit and Compliance Committee. That concludes my report.
Is there a motion to approve the audit charter presented for the Office of Audit and Consulting Services with only updating the signatures?
I move we accept that.
Thank you, Trustee Martin. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Wright. Any discussion? With no discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
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 The motion passes, and the audit charter of the Office of Audit and Consulting Services is approved. The next item is informational, and Ms. Burkhart is again the presenter.
Thank you. The Audit and Compliance Committee Charter, Section 4D1, requires the committee to ensure the Chief Audit Executive's administrative reporting relationship to the President is independent. The report on independence is also a requirement of the internal auditing standards, which requires the Chief Audit Executive to confirm to the board the organizational independence of the internal audit activity. Organizational independence is achieved with my position as Chief Audit Executive reporting administratively to the President and functionally to the Audit and Compliance Committee of the Board. The standards state that the internal audit activity must be free from interference in determining the scope of internal auditing, performing work, and communicating results. There are no problems or issues to report with independence of the internal audit department. The President is supportive and encourages the independence of the Chief Audit Executive. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Brenda. Are there any comments or questions? Brenda will also present the next informational item, the quarterly report of the results of internal audit reports.
Thank you. Since the last meeting of the committee, there have been 2 audit reports issued. Information concerning the report for the Special Review of International Enrollment in Services issued on April the 28th was included in the meeting materials. The review was performed at the request of management and recommended that the employees involved in the immigration process receive appropriate training for their positions. Not included in your meeting materials, but I wanted to report the follow-up of the State Audit Performance Audit Report for the MTSU Board of Trustees, most often referred to as the Sunset Audit, was completed on May 7th. Management has implemented the corrective action of adding a manual review of the Clary Daily Crime Log to ensure all reported crimes are included on the Daily Crime Log. The follow-up report was due to the comptroller by May 17th. As noted in the minutes of the prior meeting, I had planned to provide an update on the corrective action to the comptroller's investigative report concerning the use of student activity fees by 2 student organizations. Due to 2 cases of COVID, the update on that corrective action has been delayed. Everyone has now returned to work, and the corrective action update work is in progress and should be completed by the next meeting. The status of the current audit plan is on page 47 of your meeting materials. That concludes my quarterly update on the results of internal audit reports.
Thank you, Brenda. That's the final agenda item for the public session of the committee. Are there any closing remarks? With none, the portion of the Audit and Compliance Committee meeting concerning public matters is completed. We will now go into executive session for discussion concerning audits and investigations. No business other than these items will be considered during this non-public session. The public meeting of the Audit and Compliance Committee is adjourned. I must now ask that everyone other than board members, the president, our chief audit executive, the assistant director for audit and consulting services, and our legal counsel, please leave the room.